Yogis, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Maya Align. We're working together today for the next 45 minutes. And you'll need just the two props today, the single cork block, if you have a cork block. If you don't have a cork block, foam block or something a similar sort of size and shape, maybe a couple of books, and also a bolster ideally. If you don't have a bolster, grab yourself a couple of pillows. We're using the props today to assist us drop in, soften in, and enjoy some of the postures that we're taking today. If you don't have those, hit pause now. Otherwise, let's begin. We are starting today's practice with one of my favorite ways to drop into the breath and into the feeling body. And this week has been all about feel. If you've been joining us with each of the classes, each of the practices and the different styles, we've been embedding our Ishvara Pranidhana through each practice. And essentially Ishvara Pranidhana translates as surrender. And so surrender, what does it mean to surrender? Ultimately, surrender means to feel. And so today, as we drop into our feeling body, we use the physical body and the breath to connect to that place within us. Let's settle into our opening posture, your Sukhasana, and we're going to be taking some beautiful Sufi grinds today to help unravel that energy within our spine that's contained within us. Palms turned down, extend the arms nice and long, and before we invite movement, let's take 3 clearing breaths collectively. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and as you inhale, draw the spine long, extending the crown. Open the mouth, exhale, release the breath. With that, exhale and release, soften the shoulders, soften the muscles that support the spine. One more breath, inhale. Open the mouth, exhale, release. Our third and final breath, deep inhale. Open the mouth, exhale, release. Creating now a seal with the top lip placed upon the bottom. Now both the inhale and exhale, entering and exiting the nostrils. Inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to bow the body forwards, open heart, open throat. And take right shoulder towards the right knee. And then as you exhale, swinging across to the left knee. Inhale, take it across to the right knee. Exhale, take it across to the left. And as you sink in the breath with your movement, swaying side to side, that gentle little rocking motion forwards, feel the opening and the surrender of that low back and the low part of your spine, your lumbar spine. As you take this little gentle rock forwards and backwards, notice what muscles release. Notice where you're feeling this. And let's take a pause next time we come to the left knee. And now draw the spine long and come back to your seat. And then open through the back body, bowing down and releasing through the low back, drawing the shoulders forwards, the chin into chest. Beautiful. And taking that same little sway left to right, but through the back body, as you draw forwards to open, we're inviting that left shoulder forwards and then slinking on back through the spine and inviting the left shoulder forwards, slinking on back the right shoulder, this one is, and take that little sway, that little swing, opening through the low back and inviting the heart to open. We'll take this sway a couple more times. Have you been able to stay with your breath, or have you already got lost in the mind? Come back to connect to the breath. And next time we come back to that left shoulder, left knee, we'll take a full sweep forwards. And as you take these beautiful big sweeps around to the left in this clockwise motion, I want you to feel as if you're stirring a great big pot. And maybe tonight your pot is full of bubbling, boiling vegetable soup. Or maybe your pot has some chocolatey sweet cacao. Whatever's in your pot, make sure you sweep the sides, so as you draw the body forwards and take the body back, invite the circular motions a little deeper. Inviting the heart and making sure you sweep the top of the pot too. Maybe taking a grip of the fingertips over the knees to invite that connection through the upper body. And drawing the heart forwards. Let's find our center and unravel and reverse. Right shoulder to lead. To tell you what's mine. Maybe closing down the eyes now. And let's start inviting the neck into play. And taking the gaze to the sky and then inward down to the belly. One more round. And then find center. Keeping the eyes closed down, settle into stillness. And can you feel your body still moving? The energy that surrounds you still moving. And so beautiful to embrace that. And let's take it a little further now through the front body and the back body. Opening up, seated cat-cow. Opening through the front body. And then curling in, rounding down, open through the back body. And let's take this 2 more times. And final round, inhale. And find your center. Again, settle into that stillness. Noticing the energy still moving, flowing through you, floating through you and around you. Let's take this movement into our flow, rolling over the knees, adjusting the props and making sure your mat's nice and clear. Taking the knees nice and wide and the big toes together to touch behind you. Opening into this wide-legged position with the spine still tall. Running the hands the lengths of your legs and wrap the fingertips over the knees. Opening the chest just as you did before in your Sukhasana. Slowly invite the gaze to the sky. Be gentle with the neck and just allow that throat to open. Let's draw the chin into chest, rounding out heaps of extra space now to play with as you roll forwards. Maybe now taking a grip and opening through the back body, a grip on the knees. And that extra grip with the knees wide, you should be able to feel between the shoulder blades, feeling into that beautiful big expansion. Inhale, open, tilting the pelvis and pouring the belly forwards as if it's a bucket full of water, watering the flowers that lay before you. Let's draw it back, tilting the pelvis once more, this time pouring it out the back body. Inhale, rise. Take your tilt and open. And draw it forwards, tilting out the back body. Inhale, find center. Knees in together to touch, big toes still together to touch. Hands to the mat. And extend them forwards as you reach and find length through the side body. Bow the head. Inhale, we ripple. Your tabletop position as you take your adjustments. Knees beneath the hips. Hands to the mat. Tucking the toes today and straight away bringing some warmth into that low belly. And finding a rise through your knees in your plank pose. Inhale. And drop the knees. Exhale. And this time we're pouring the heart forwards in an anahatasana as you release the toes and take a walk. Inhale, slowly walk it back. Tabletop, tuck the toes, plank pose, inhale. Stay for the exhale. Knees to the mat. Release the toes. Take your walk. Inhale here. Exhale, release the heart to the mat. Inhale, take your walk one more time here. Tuck the toes, plank pose. We stay. Inhale, draw navel in toward the spine. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, your final melting heart. Anahatasana. Stay for one full round of breath as you exhale. Take that surrender to find heart draping towards the mat. And this time as you inhale and come back to our tabletop position and finding our transition now to invite some more warmth to the legs. Tuck the toes, your plank pose, and we stay for our breath. And then ripple hips to the spine, taking your first down dog. Let's pedal out the heels. Swaying side to side, leaning into each foot and finding length through each leg. And as you take this pedal and this walk, inviting each heel a little closer towards the earth. Let's settle in and find center, checking in with that alignment to the legs and making sure we're train tracked here with the hands and the legs in alignment. Hips to the sky, and we're taking a tuck of the pelvis here, a tilt of the pelvis here. As you find length through the hamstrings and invite the upper body, the chest, the belly back towards the thigh. Beautiful. Inhale, ripple through center, plank pose. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, take your walk, anahatasana. Exhale, melting heart. Inhale, rise. And can you feel the blossoming of this practice and your energy? Hips to the sky, down dog. Exhale, sink the heels. Inhale, rise the heels. Feel the ripple through your body as you find your plank pose. Knees to meet the mat. Untuck the toes. Take your walk. Melt the heart. Inhale, rise. Hands beneath the shoulders. And tucking those toes. And your plank pose takes you to down dog as you settle in here. And allow the load to Draw to that left leg as you reach the right toes to the sky, keeping the hips squared off and ensuring that the hips stay in alignment. And you can take a gaze to check down the length of the front body, making any little corrections that you need. We'll take a point of the toe today, keeping that point of the toe. We're going to take a tiger curl as you draw the knee all the way through center, maybe hovering just between the hands. And then inhale, taking it back to the sky, hips squared off. Exhale that knee once more through center. Inhale, taking it to the sky, squared off hips. And this time as you draw that knee through center to hover between the hands, we're now going to take it across the body and find it linking onto that left leg and find a 3-leg plank for a moment. So beautiful. Hovering, holding. And then right knee across to that right wrist. Rather than melting down today into your pigeon, as your body might be calling, we're staying nice and high and finding a balance here. Slowly taking a walk of the hands and maybe finding them resting upon the heel, the knee, the leg. And maybe you feel okay to go a little higher and take the hands to the hips. Maybe the back of the hips as you draw the elbows open. Take your option. Big open heart here. And if you've found your balance, we're here for one more breath. Sweep the arms. Reaching for the sky. Open heart, open hips. Exhale, offering the hands back down wherever you are. Take your walk, hands beneath the shoulders. Step it straight back. Drop the knees. Tabletop position. Take your walk. Anahatasana. Exhale and melt the heart. Inhale, rise. Let's take that to the other side. Tabletop your transition. Tuck the toes. And plank pose. Hips to the sky, down dog. And keeping the right foot now embedded into the mat, we extend the left, gazing down the front body and checking in with that alignment. So no open hips, we're closing them off today. Big week for the hips. Left knee through center as you tiger curl and float the load forwards to stack the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, reach, keeping it squared off. One more hover, exhale. And feel that warmth coming through the entire body. And final reach, and this time as you draw forwards and find your hover, you're going to take that left leg across and find a single or a double bind. And 3-leg plank in that Garudasana cross. One full round of breath. And feel that fire burning, that beautiful sun energy. Left knee to sit, to rest behind that left wrist. And rather than surrendering in and softening completely into this, our surrendering comes within the strength of the posture as you fight the urge to give up and give in. Hair in my face. Let's take a walk, maybe finding the hands upon the foot, the heel, the knee. Maybe you take hands to the hips, hands to the back of the pelvis. One more breath. Inhale, draw to rise. Open through the heart. Exhale, offer it forwards, hands back to the mat. Step it straight on back in plank pose. Let's drop the knees, untuck the toes, and take your release in your Anahatasana. Inhale, rise. And planting the hands. How's the strength and the warmth You should be feeling that all through the shoulders, the belly, the hips especially. And let's tuck the toes and find that plank pose and take the hips to the sky for your down dog. This time as you rest in and settle in on that left foot, inviting the heel to the mat, we'll take the right toes to the sky. Let's draw through center and find that hover just the once. And so beautiful. Taking it across the body and find that Garudasana cross. Stay for one breath. And this time you're going to rock over onto that right arm and find an alignment in this Garudasana cross with a side plank. Inhale and taking that left arm to the sky. Allow it to drape back, meet the mat, roll over the toes. Now we draw that left knee or right knee towards the right wrist. One breath only now as you inhale, staying nice and high, sweep to rise. Your exhale, we take a humble bow and sink the pelvis, but keep the heart nice and high as we hover now through the heart and the shoulders. Beautiful. Let's inhale, sweep to rise. And hands meet the mat. And now slide it on back. And take your beautiful rock and roll. I'm feeling into that right hip. Now working with so much strength and range of motion this week with the hips. Closing out strong at the end of the week, finding our practice today really dropping into the deepest parts of the pelvis. And let's settle and find stillness. And you should be beginning to feel that deep connection now. That walk that we took earlier. Taking that once more, finding that balance. Then you're going to release over onto that right sit bone and the upper thigh of that right leg for a moment. Just long enough to draw that left knee in to meet the sole of the right foot. And you've found yourself in deer. Our deer release, our first posture here from the hips. Right hand off the mat and planting that beside the pelvis. Left arm sweeps and opens you up through the front hip. Exhale, sink it down. Let's take that 2 more times. Beautiful big opening as you roll over that left foot and the shin. Inhale. Beautiful big side body stretch here. Exhale, find your seat. And final opening, inhale, draw to rise. Exhale your seat. And this time as you take your seat and settling back in on that right hip, that left foot now comes all the way across the body and finds a Gomukhasana, a cow face pose, looking for the knees to align. And you can take a grip of the big toes, maybe a pistol grip to find that height. And that bind that you found with the feet is going to help you now as you come back to those cat-cows here. As you draw in and roll the chin down to the chest, invite that opening of the back body. Inhale to open, draping the head. Exhale, round it down. And drawing forehead down towards the knee. Inhale, open chest, gazing to the sky. Last time, exhale, curl it down. Inhale, rise. And that left hip should be feeling pretty good. Let's ever so slowly release that left leg. And we'll take it into a baby cradle. Our baby cradle now we use the outer blade of that left foot to settle it in the forearm, that little crease in the elbow, and you can take a hug of that shin and that leg and take a gentle little rock and roll. And we've been playing a little bit this week with these rocks and rolls, the gentle ballistic movement of each of the joints, and seeing the benefits of slowly, with flow, inviting that fluidity. And maybe that rock and roll now becomes some circles. And with the hips squared off and you're now finding center, you're going to take the inner and outer blade of the foot and take it into an extension for the hamstring, and chest nice and high, and we'll be surrendering into this one. Stability on your sit bones, strength as you draw the chest forwards and aim for a long spine. Watch that we're not rounding out through the low back. You're using that grip, even if you have a bent knee, to draw the chest forwards. And wherever you are, whatever position you're in, we're going to slowly take the chin down towards the knee, the chest down towards the knee, and the forehead down towards the knee. Inhale, draw back to rise. Our deer, as you guide that knee to bend and to rest once more back in that deer posture. Your deer this time, and bringing you into a restorative move as you drape. And this is where the bolster is really nice. So if you've got those pillows or cushions right by you, you want to run them beside the hip and drape down, finding a side body release in a surrender now. So softening into that left hip. And you can take a hug of the bolster, opening that left palm. Allow the right cheek and ear to rest. And let's take it to rise. Moving the bolster just out of the way, as we'll come back to that again in a moment. And extending out that left leg. And you rested it initially on the inner blade of that foot, but as we plant the hands, we're looking to roll over the ball of that foot on the left. And we'll come back to rise, stepping that right foot back to meet in your plank pose. Let's drop the knees and take your walk, finding your Anahatasana. Exhale, melting the heart. Inhale, rise. Hands beneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, plank pose. Hips to the sky for your down dog, sink into the heels, left leg to rise, 3 leg. Gazing the front body and squaring off the hips. Left knee floats through center, tiger curl. And just the once this time. And taking that left leg across, and find that Garudasana, single or double cross. And we'll take a roll this time over onto the left hand, releasing the right, and find a plank pose, feeling into that support on the right foot. And maybe you're hovering over the inner blade, or maybe you've flattened off the foot, and that's okay too. Right hand meets the mat, rolling over the toes. And this time, left knee behind that left wrist. Take your walk, stay nice and high. The one breath to rise, you inhale, we sweep. Balance, strength, stability, and surrender into that discomfort. Exhale, take a humble bow, maintaining that hover. Beautiful big opening through that left pelvis. And fight the urge or surrender into what this posture is offering you. Inhale, draw to rise. Exhale. Hands to meet the mat and slink on back into Release through that left hip. And taking a walk back up, finding the spine nice and long. And this time rolling over and allowing that left hip to meet the mat and the left shin. And we'll gaze down the length of that right leg now as you slowly invite it in, working to draw that right shin in alignment with the side of the mat and outer edges of the mat, and feeling into your deer pose here. Left hand this time meeting the mat for support. And we'll take a beautiful big windmill of that right arm as you draw to rise and open through the front of that right pelvis. Exhale, find your seat. 3 rounds here as you sink the breath. Inhale, draw to rise, rolling over the shin on the left, the top foot. Exhale. Once more, inhale, rise. Exhale, release. And that right leg now coming all the way over on top your Gomukhasana, and finding the knees to meet, the hands to the feet. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, curl it down. Inhale to rise. Maybe taking the gaze to the sky, open throat. Exhale, opening through the back of the heart, the back of your throat. One more breath, inhale, rise. And exhale, curl it down. Your Gomukhasana, your cow face pose, such a deep external rotation. And from your Gomukhasana, we're going to release out and come to that baby cradle now on this side. That right foot nestling into the elbow crease on the left. And your gentle little rock and roll. Maybe side to side, maybe circles. Listening to what your hip needs. Really connecting to the feelings that arise. Let's settle into stillness. Take this moment of pause to feel that energy buzzing all around you. And let's take both blades of the feet. And extending out in front, right knee into chest. And then elongation of that right leg now opening through the right hamstring. Inhale, and you don't have to grip the inner and outer blades. You could grip the ankle, the calf. Wherever's comfortable for you to find that grip. Either way, wherever you are, draw the chest forward, nice long spine. Take an inhale here to lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise. Your deer pose as you slowly draw that right leg back, that right knee to meet the inner arch of that left foot, and find your support. And set it up beside the hip. And slowly take that side body stretch now, finding length, maybe sweeping that right arm overhead. Let's come back to rise. Bolster, your prop, your pillows once more out of play. And then length through that right leg as you take an extension and initially nestle the support on that inner blade. Hands to meet the mat. Roll over back into that pigeon, and then we'll set it straight back. Drop the knees. Your Anahatasana. Close out and take this one final round free flowing through these gentle little alignments. I want you to really explore that and consider what comes up pertaining to the hips for you. Slowly walking back out of your Anahatasana and find your tabletop. Let's tuck the toes and take this slow plank pose. Hips to the sky. Right toes for the reach. This time really open up that right hip and find a scorpion draping the heel towards the mat, the floor, and allow it to hang. Let's square it off. Right knee through center and hover. Take it across the body, your Gomukhasana. Roll over onto the inner blade of that left foot and find a reach. And this time taking the hips to the sky and that left hand overhead. Deeper side body stretch, deeper release through the pelvis. Inhale, squaring it back off, stacking the shoulders. Woo! Left hand to meet the mat. Your pigeon prep. Staying high, sweep and rise. Exhale, your humble offering, staying high in that pelvis. Feel into that strength, that warmth, that heat. Inhale. Exhale, hands to meet the mat. Slink it on back. A moment in your pigeon, staying nice and high today. Roll it out onto that right hip, your deer. Right hand to meet the mat. Inhale, windmill that left hand open through the front of the hip. Exhale, take your seat. Left leg sweeps over top your Gomukhasana. And this time as you inhale and draw to rise, we're going to surrender all the way down, inviting the belly, the chest, and the head to hang. Your surrendered cow face pose, your Gomukhasana. Inhale, rise. And drawing beyond your baby cradle, straight into this hamstring release. Inhale, find your balance with the sit bones. Find length in the hamstring. And as you exhale this time, rather than invite the head and the heart towards the knee, I invite you to find that middle ground. Maybe taking the heel, the hamstring, maybe gripping to the back of the heel, the calf, and drawing that hamstring into a deeper opening, getting more deeply into the hips. And forehead towards the knee. Take a bend in the knee. And send it straight on back all the way, long lines. Inner blade of the foot, hands to plant, roll over the toes. From your risen pigeon, step it back, plank pose. Hips to the sky. Left toes for the reach. Open it up. Your beautiful big scorpion, knee to the sky, heel to hang. And square it off. That one, hover as you tiger curl, knee through center and float. Across the body, your Gomukhasana, and your side plank in your Gomukhasana. Right arm extends. Take the hips to the sky and send that right arm overhead. Beautiful, deep side body stretch. Inhale, find the body squared and in alignment, stacked. Right hand meets the mat. Left knee to left wrist. Staying high in your pigeon. Releasing the hands as you inhale. Find strength as you blossom from the hips. Exhale, your offering, tilting the pelvis, watering those flowers beneath you. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to meet the mat. Slink it on back. Left hip. Take your circle, your swing of the right hand as you draw into your deer. Left hand meets the mat. Right hand windmills overhead. And exhale, find your seat. Right leg stacks on top, your Gomukhasana. Take the grip of the hands, inhale, spine long. Exhale, your surrender. Can you feel that beautiful opening of the right pelvis? Does it make you want to run? Does it make you want to hide? Or can you surrender into that? Not fight it, but surrender into the discomfort. Inhale, rise. And taking that right foot into the support of your hands beyond that baby cradle, and find that hamstring opening in your seat. Length through the hamstring as you inhale, find length through the back. And as you exhale, drawing this time the leg, the shin towards you. And bowing in, forehead towards the knee. And really sit straight on back, yogis. So well done. Roll it over and find your risen pigeon. Step it back. Let's drop the knees, and this time walk them out and come back to where we've begun, sinking the hips back towards the heels and surrendering this time all the way in. Your wide-legged forward fold. And your beautiful, beautiful child's pose. And slowly take a walk, coming back to your seat. Let's take it to the back body. And finding your props and bringing them into play. Your block or books and your bolster. Your bolster, you can set that up at the end of the mat and have the block nice and close and handy. And let's slowly draw back to rest the spine. Knees into chest, give yourself a big hug. Baby. Happy baby. Soles of the feet to the sky, inhale. As you exhale, draw the knees down beside the body, and we'll take that rock and roll side to side here today in your baby cradle. Pedaling out your baby cradle as you take that rock. And then draw the soles of the feet together, gripping the outer blades, and draw it into the chest. Slowly guide the knees on back. And plant the soles of the feet on the mat and take your block, and as we draw into your bridge and rise through bridge, we're going to take that block beneath the pelvis. I like medium height for this one for me. And you want to settle it in as we'll be taking our Savasana today in this supported posture. We want to make sure that cork block's not connected to the low back or to the coccyx at all, just across that sacral plate as you extend the legs and allow the calves and the Achilles to be supported by the bolster. Making any subtle little adjustments you need, and then opening the palms to the sky. Allow yourself now to feel supported. Allow yourself to completely surrender here. And if you have the time, hit pause and stay for as long as you can. And otherwise, if you're working to a time limit, let's draw the soles of the feet back to the mat. And pressing into the feet, release the hips from the block. And slowly unravel each vertebra back down to the mat. Without any further movement just yet, settle here. Noticing the shift in the hips, the pelvis, the spine. And let's draw the knees into chest. Slowly taking a tuck, one knee at a time. Hands to the shins. And as you exhale, surrender the knees into the chest. Yogis, release that grip and take a roll to your favorite side. And taking a full breath here. And then slowly, slowly, with the eyes still closed down, and coming back to find a comfortable seat. The emotions that we're working with when we work with the hips: criticism, judgment, frustration, and that feeling or that sensation of a stuckness. As we work with the hips, as we work to float and free flow energy in and around the hips, we're helping the energetic body shift those feelings. And it doesn't mean we shouldn't feel them, but when we sense and feel that stuckness, we need to be able to circulate those sensations and feel into some free flowing movement and energy within that joint, that area, that energetic space, to be able to work with it, to explore it, to soften and to surrender into it. Ishvara Pranidhana is not running away from, avoiding, or playing into and feeling into the victim of that stuckness, that stiffness. Leaning into it, softening into it, surrendering into it. Thank you so much, yogis, for sharing your Ishvara Pranidhana with me, this practice, and this week. Let's take the hands to heart center in prayer. Inhale, long spine. And as you bow the head towards the hands, drawing the chin into chest, we pay our moment of gratitude and respect to that teacher that resides within us, within each of us, the ultimate and divine self, that wisdom. And let's inhale and draw to rise. That intuitive self knows, that divine being within you knows. Ishvara Pranidhana. And I invite you, as you leave the four corners of your mat today, to embrace and surrender into all the feelings that arise. I invite you to feel it all. Namaste.